All right. Well, a huge story this weekend that we're tracking. So let's make our big interview here the biggest and bring on the Hall of Famers, Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart. Just a shocking weekend we probably won't ever forget. This might even be our yardstick forever when someone has a points lead late in the season. I'll go to you first, Ricky. Just the reaction here when we saw what was happening in real time.
Honestly, Jason, I'm still shook from the whole weekend, and not just Denver, but also Nashville. Just the last 2 weeks. It's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to absorb, just things that you never would have thought that would happen from the caliber of riders, starting with Cooper Webb. And then, of course, unfortunately, ending with the defending champion, Eli Tomac. I hate that cliche and the saying that we've been talking about, especially in our meetings, about anything can happen. And I was against that, just because of the caliber of a guy like Eli Tomac. And what we all witnessed is from Eli is just so uncommon. And, I wouldn't have expected something like that to happen from me, from McGrath, from JS. Things like that don't happen. And, it's a shame. I'm still hurt. I'm still bummed by it, but I'm looking forward to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. What are you thinking there, James, when you saw this all unfolding?
Well, I thought it was a dream, really. And I said that in my show. I was sitting there watching it, and Eli, we kind of expected, if anything, it would end up like last week. And, even if Chase was going to win, it was going to be, Eli would get second. I actually thought he rode pretty good all day long. And I'm like, I knew instantly, when guys get hurt, you can tell. He was on the side of the track. There was no aggressiveness to move back on there. And so from a rider standpoint, I know Chase, when he came through, he saw that in everybody. So I'm sitting at home like, are you kidding me? I think, honestly, out of all the people, he's the last guy I would expect that to happen to. How he's been, especially over the last few years, but even over his whole career, he rarely gets hurt. So to see him end it like this on a, something that he does, every single day of the week, it was shocking for sure.
Guys, it's hard, right? Because we're still emotional from last weekend, but the show goes on. I mean, we're rolling in this weekend to Salt Lake City, the finale. We've got the showdown, the Futures Championship, and maybe a chance for Chase Sexton to maybe take things in more positively than he did in Denver. Ricky, I'll start with you. What are you looking forward to going into Salt Lake? And then a couple weeks later, we get to start all over with the Pro Motocross Championship. So over the next couple of weeks, what are you looking forward to? Because this show does go on.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Daniel. And I'm looking forward to, let's start with the Dave Coombs Sr. East-West Showdown. We get to watch the Lawrence brothers go head-to-head. We also, it's an opportunity for RJ Hampshire, an opportunity for Joe Shimoda. You think back when Joe won his Supercross there, which was an epic finish at Salt Lake City. So there's still an opportunity for the 250 guys, and of course the 450 guys. Hey, listen, Chase Sexton is the fastest guy in the series right now. I think we all could agree on that. But I love what I saw out of Ken Roxon this past weekend. He looked great on the bike. I think this race is a great opportunity for guys to finish out strong. You look at some of the privateers, like a guy like Justin Starling, who's in top 20, who could, point his way into the SMX playoffs later on in September. So a lot to look forward to. And as you said, getting to that Pro Motocross Championship, this is a great time to still be tuned in, and a lot of racing is left.
James, what about you? Pro Motocross coming up. You had a lot of success, little bike, big bike. That's a big, hard challenge coming for a lot of these guys this summer. What's your thoughts? What are you looking forward to once we kick things off at Fox Raceway?
Well, when you're talking about motocross, I think you're talking to the wrong person. I was able to get one of those things, but you should be talking to the guy right next to me up here. But I'm actually interested to see how Chase kind of comes into this weekend. Does he come in? I mean, he's the champion. If Eli doesn't race, it's not official until it's official, but does he come in now, shoulders a little bit broader, coming in with a pep in his step and really try to lay law to these guys that hey, you know what, for all those naysayers saying that, this was given to me, kind of that confidence wise, does this change him? And obviously leading into motocross, I'm excited to see him and maybe in jet race. But really, I'm excited to see how that whole team camaraderie becomes. I think there's a lot of rumors with Chase possibly leaving that team, Honda. So just kind of seeing how that breaks down. I'm really excited to see the 250 class, to see what Danger Boy and all those guys coming up. Can Yoshimoto get this? Can he start the season how he ended last year? So there's a lot, but yeah, I think for this weekend, of course, the showdown. But I'm just really interested to see how Chase is, his mentality, how he walks, the swag he has this weekend.
All right, well, still a lot to look forward to. Remember, it's not just a Monster Energy Supercross title. We're going 31 rounds for the Super Motocross World Championship, so still a lot to play for. Look forward to seeing you guys in the booth with Todd Harris this weekend in Salt Lake, and then I'll be in the booth with you guys for every round of Pro Motocross. We look forward to that, and of course, your own pods, Bubba's World podcast and Title 24. So thanks for joining us, and still a lot to discuss, right? Okay, we're going to wrap up this episode of the show, and it will be a wrap on Monster Energy Supercross this weekend, but do not forget, this is now part of the 31-round Super Motocross World Championship. All the points count together for seeding in that. So you still want to watch these races. Now we'll have the traditional race day live. That'll start at 4:30 Eastern, coming your way from Utah on Peacock. But it is also the national championship race for Supercross Futures, and that will take place before the night show begins. That is 9:30 Eastern on Peacock. Opening ceremonies, pre-race show, and Supercross Futures. And then at 10, we'll start a traditional night show.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.